So, guys, we are live. Welcome back to the Manchester United latest news. We're talking all things Manchester United, including some news on Erling Braut Haaland and Eric Bailly potentially making signing a new contract with Manchester United. So, get your thoughts in about Manchester United right now. Of course, our thoughts on the game yesterday against Palace and all of that. So, we'll get into it straight away with Erling Haaland, of course, a guy who's been on Manchester United's radar last season, especially in last summer as well. And of course, Dortmund came in and took him away from us. And I was quite confident, to be honest, we were going to bring him in because you've got the Solskjaer Haaland connection. He used to play in Molde and all that. And it just went to Dortmund. It just didn't go through properly. A little bit late. Yeah, sorry, man. I got to explain that, to be honest. I was a bit late. I was just doing something. Yeah, it's my bad. I'm sorry I'm a bit late, guys. I was doing something downstairs, to be honest, on my laptop. So yeah, I didn't realize the time and I was a bit late. So, yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, that's really interesting because there's something coming out from the Sun. And I know it's not reliable. I know we shouldn't read into it too much. I'm almost at 110. What the hell is happening? Yeah, congratulations, mate. Yeah, the news coming out is Manchester United have been given a boost in a pursuit of Erling Haaland, with the Dortmund sensation reportedly snubbing a move to Chelsea. So, of course, it's the Sun. I'm not going to say it's true. I'm not going to say it's going to fall through, but some good news coming out, for Manchester United there, for fans at least. I know we believe in these, transfer stories too much about these big players always coming to Manchester United, but Haaland's back on our radar, and apparently, we're one of the 4 clubs in for him, or the big clubs in for him this summer, because it does look like he'll probably end up leaving Dortmund with how they're doing right now, especially if they don't get Champions League football. So he probably is in for a big move in the summer. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes and where he moves to really, because I'd love him at Manchester United. I think it'd be a perfect fit. I could just imagine Rashford, Greenwood, Haaland up front, just Bruno behind him. They'd be really good. And I think we score a lot of goals and be a much better team than we are, because right now we're struggling to score goals. We're struggling to, break teams down. And I would really love Haaland, but would he want to come to Manchester United at the moment? Coming to the best team in the league, Chelsea. I mean, potentially with the money you got, you probably could bring him in, to be honest. And with Manchester United and that, not really, spending big on big players, if you know what I mean. There's a chance he might move to Chelsea. That'd be incredible. But I think now you have Werner and that. I don't think he will be, because, he won't be guaranteed game time ahead of Werner, even though, in my opinion, he probably is better. But he is playing in the Bundesliga. I'd love to see how he does in the Premier League. So even if he does move, I think it's going to be a good move for him overall. But yeah, that's the news about Haaland. So a bit of hope for Manchester United, that story, but I'm not going to go into it too much. But our next little story is about Eric Bailly, obviously the Ivory Coast nationality player for Manchester United. Of course, he's got a bit of game time. He's getting back to, full fitness, and, he's not getting as many injuries recently. But there's something coming out from his representatives saying Eric Bailly, they've been called and contacted about the possibility of agreeing fresh terms with Manchester United. Fresh terms with Manchester United. However, Manchester United want Bailly to prove his injury problems are over before committing him to a new contract. So it sounds like, we're trying to get Eric Bailly in full time. We're trying to get him on a big contract rather than just, another year or so. And I think, if he doesn't get injured as much as he's been known to, then I do think he'll have a future at Manchester United. Obviously, so far, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has preferred the likes of Lindelof and Maguire rather than switching up to Bailly and Maguire. But, times will change. I think that, over time, I think Bailly will get a lot of game time for Manchester United. Of course, he's not guaranteed to come in, but the idea of getting him on a new contract suggests to me that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is, getting him in his plans, and hopefully he is one for the future. Of course, I'd still go in for a centre-back. Eric Bailly, he's not that world-class name you can, rely on all the time because how injury-prone he is. But yeah, it's good news for Manchester United. I think, everybody will be happy with that. But he just has to prove that, you won't get injured in the next couple of months or so, and he will stay fit, because that's the problem with Bailly. And for me personally, I'd love him coming to Manchester United. I'd love him signing a new contract for Manchester United. I think, it's better than getting Lindelof on a new contract, isn't it? Much more happiness about it. But yeah, that's Bailly's story. And we had, of course, Solskjaer's press conference earlier. So I'll read out a few things about what he said. because I don't do a press conference live reaction. Can we just laugh at Liverpool for a minute? Yeah, mate, it's quite funny, isn't it? How much they've fallen recently is funny. But yeah, so Scholes got in his press conference. Let's read a few quotes out. So he says, "I can only control what's happening at Manchester United. They are the only team ahead of us at the moment. They are having a fantastic spell with great form, but we are 21 unbeaten." Well, he's on about City? I think it's about City, yeah, saying they are the only team ahead of us, yeah. Fantastic spell with great form, but we are 21 unbeaten away. So something has to give, and that's true, to be honest. I mean, we could definitely lose our away record against City, and I think we will, to be honest, with how they're playing right now. And I don't want to, of course, I want to keep that as long as we can, but that's a good shout from Solskjaer there. The away record we have could come into it. Probably not, but it could. And he also said, Solskjaer, on the De Gea situation, best feeling you can have is to become a dad. I will give him the time he needs before he comes back. He wanted to go and be there so badly, so it's not even a decision to make. There's a human being in there. I don't know when he'll be back, but it won't be long. Not for long, mate. Chelsea will be above you soon. That's basically what he said, to be honest. A few of his quotes there. Didn't really have too much to say. Of course, he also basically said, "Afternoon, mate. Oh, what's going on, you and mate? Thank you for coming to the stream. Much appreciated." Yeah, so what Ollie's trying to say is basically we're not so out of form, which I think is wrong, because if you look at our results recently, we're not on the best of form right now. So, for me, of course, Ollie's going to be confident going into the game against City, because he has to be as a manager. You can't be like, yeah, do you know what? They're so good right now. I'm just going to give them the game. You can't be like, it's a derby game. You've got to get up for it. And I feel, I don't feel we'll try and win the game, but there's probably going to be a lot of fight in that Manchester United team coming up. But so yeah, get your thoughts about the game coming up, guys. Derby day and the stories I've told you so far. That's all the quotes from Solskjaer. Really didn't have much to say ahead of City. Of course, another quote coming out from Jonathan Traeger earlier talks about the possibility of Leon Bailey from Leverkusen coming to Manchester United. Of course, it's a long way off. We're not linked to him as much, but there's something coming out saying talks took place in January between Leon Bailey's representatives and numerous clubs, including Manchester United. So, of course, Leon Bailey, the Jamaican sensation in the Bundesliga, been playing very well for Leverkusen. And of course, if he would come to Manchester United, for me, I would not want to bring him in, just because, where would he play? I mean, with Rashford, obviously, having that left wing spot right now, I know he's not in the best of form, and I know he's struggling. But of course, he has been playing with an injury that was coming out a few days ago as well, with a shoulder injury, which stops him holding up the ball as much and stops him, getting past players or running past players. So that's what came out. But why are you playing with an injury? Like, come on, you should not be playing with an injury. But yeah, Leon Bailey, get your thoughts in about him. You don't need Leon Bailey. Yeah, I agree with you there, mate. We don't need Leon Bailey, but would I take him if he was happy to sit on the bench and be a super sub? Yes, I would. But I don't think we will end up bringing him in anyway, just because, we already have Rashford and we need a centre-back. We need a CDM. We need a right winger. And he's not on that list or any of those positions. So, yeah, so that's the news on Eric Bailly, guys. Not much coming out of that. And there's quickly coming out 70 minutes ago saying, I think it's positive for so many teams here. The Premier League is planning to shift its 36th and 37th rounds of fixtures back to ensure all of its clubs can welcome 10,000 fans for one game before the end of the season. It is hoped that fans will be able to return to the Premier League matches from May the 17th. So I think that's really good news for the whole football fan community. People go into games and it will affect games more now. There be an away crowd. Michael Scott says Diallo won't get game time if you get Bailey. Yeah, I agree with that, mate, as well. Yeah, that's a massive problem as well. Because, of course, he's just getting into the team now. He's making the bench. And eventually, he probably will get a few starts in the team, won't he? So, I don't think we will sign Leon Bailey, though. I really don't. So, don't look into that too much. I feel, we're going to sign a centre-back or CDM or right winger before we bring in Leon Bailey. And he's been linked with Bailey before. But I think, overall, he's probably just happy at Leverkusen, isn't he? Chelsea have been linked to him at times. Arsenal have been linked to him one time, I think, a few years ago. So, I think he just will end up staying at Leverkusen. But, if they're talking to his representatives about a move, then I think, he may be looking to go out this summer. But I wouldn't back it. I would definitely not back it. So, yeah, guys, get any questions about stories I've been saying? I'm talking to you guys. There's something else coming out about David De Gea as well. Um, he will be required to. David De Gea will be required to quarantine when he arrives back from Spain, as he is not travelled for elite sports purposes. Spain isn't on the red list, which means he will be free after 5 days of isolation, providing he returns a negative test. So that's all positives, really, to be honest. Of course, he will have to quarantine, but is that 5 days? I think it is, because he's not travelled for elite reasons. He's travelled back to have a baby, be next to his wife, hasn't he, with a baby? So, all positives really. But Michael Scott says thoughts on Zakaria. Of course, we've been linked to him before. To be honest, I think a very good player. I think he would definitely improve this Manchester United team right now. With the likes of Scott McTominay, Fred in midfield, I think could be a massive upgrade. But I don't think we've not been linked to him recently, have we? I don't think it will be a long shot to try and get him into Manchester United. I feel, if we were serious about it, we probably could bring him in. But it's the fact that, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer likes to play things safe, bring in the English players, really. So it's just about, do we want to risk that? Do we want to go in for Zakaria? And he'll probably cost around, how much? He'd probably have a big packet on him, wouldn't he? He'll probably cost around, would you say, like 50 to 60 million, potentially, something like that? Maybe, if James was like 30 to 40, wasn't James? Then he's definitely going to be like 60 to 70, isn't he? So it'd be a massive, massive move for Manchester United. It'd be a risk, but yeah, I wouldn't. For me, I wouldn't bring him in. I'd bring in someone we know who can perform. Oh, wait, there's something about saying David De Gea is classed as an elite sports person and can return to the UK from Spain without quarantine. He just needs a negative test. So there's two different things going out there. They're saying he needs to, now saying he doesn't. But yeah, but if he doesn't, that's it's an even bigger positive, isn't it? Because De Gea doesn't need to quarantine. So yeah, they're basically the news stories coming out today, guys. And here was the quote I was going to say about Haaland. He said, Man U are one of the 4 teams leading the chase. I said leading the chase to try and sign Haaland in the next market, and they will try to assert in their favour the presence of the Norwegian, like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who was his idol of his country during the 90s and 2000s. So that's really interesting as well, because they're banking on the influence of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer bringing Haaland in, and I think I think Bruno came because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer told him his plans. And we haven't really seen much progress in those plans, have we? So, I mean, probably a positive there, but it's still a long, long way off for me to bring Haaland into Manchester United. Very, very far off. So yeah, guys, they're really all the stories coming out of today, guys. But get any more questions in, we're here for a few more minutes. And we do have some news on Jack Grealish as well. Of course, we were linked to him last season for a very, very long time. Decided to stick with the contract at Aston Villa. Probably wasn't the brightest move for him, in my opinion, because I do think he's deserving of Champions League football, because he's a quality player. And, I would say a lot of people disagree with me, and a lot of people would bring him into Manchester United. But again, it comes down to we have the players we need in that position. Of course, Rashford on the left, Bruno in cam, and Grealish has been playing cam and left wing for Aston Villa this season. So I think, if we were to bring him in, then who do we rest? Would Bruno be happy to sit on the bench? Would Rashford be happy to sit on the bench for Grealish? I don't think so. So, that's a bit of news, but it comes up saying, despite Jack Grealish's commitment to Villa, he is admired by figures at Manchester United, although the clubs acknowledge a priority to strengthen the other areas of the pitch first. So, I 100% agree with that. Get the players we need in to improve the squad first, and then maybe in a few years, look for Grealish potentially if he's improved again, because I think in a few years' time, Jack Grealish will be a quality player. I do feel he's deserving of a big move as well. So he might get that, not this season, maybe next season or the season after that, really, because he is committed to Villa right now. A future move for Grealish is further complicated by the uncertainty surrounding Paul Pogba's future at Manchester United, which I talked about a few days ago on this live show about him, potentially signing a new contract. But the future at Manchester United, as well as the £39.1 million deal to sign Donny van de Beek last summer. So, Donny van de Beek, Pogba situation, he would cost 120 mil. You reckon Zakaria would cost 120 mil? Because if he did, I don't think we're going to bring him in, mate. I really don't. If you're talking about Zakaria, I'm talking about Haaland or something like that. But if it's about, it's more likely going to be Haaland, isn't it? If you're talking about, I'm going to say Zakaria for 120 million, mate. No one's ever going to buy that or pay that for him. So yeah, they're really the comments coming up. But it does look like Victor Lindelof will also come back in. Oh, you know about Grealish? 120 million, yeah. As I said again, 120 million to bring in a player that's going to sit on the bench. No, thank you. But yeah, that's basically all the stories coming out, guys. I'm here for 5 more minutes, so ask me a few questions that you want to know. I'll be sure to answer them. But yeah, Lindelof came out earlier. He also said it's a big game. Everyone wants to play those games. Yeah, I've been struggling a bit with my back. I've been having it for the last couple of months. So that probably explains why Lindelof has been so bad. I've missed a few games as well. I'm just trying to manage it in a good way. I missed a few games and I came back slowly. I played one game and I got to rest again. It felt a bit better. So you're probably expecting him to start alongside Maguire for this game. I have been having these issues for the last couple of months, but I'm still out because I want to play. I want to be playing and help my team win games. But if you're injured, mate, like come on, let it heal. It's the same with Rashford. We can overplay these players and end up ruining them. So you got to be careful about what you do. So there were stories coming out today, guys. Prince Jay says Haaland and any striker would suffer in this team. Our strikers average like 2 touches in the box per game. He would ruin his career if he comes in. Yeah, maybe, mate, maybe. But, I think, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Haaland, maybe there is a connection there. Maybe, if he does come to Manchester United, it will be because of that reason. But yeah, I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. Martial right now is suffering in this team. Cavani right now suffering in this team and not getting the ball enough. And as you say there, averaging 2 touches in the opposition box is nowhere near good enough. We're not providing enough chances and enough service for our striker. And that has been a problem for like the last 2 seasons now, you could say. Of course, Martial was good last season. I mean, the numbers he put up was incredible. I think he scored 25, 26 goals in the league or was annual competitions. But yeah, he was performing well last season, but this season he's been absolutely woeful and hasn't been getting enough service or enough touch of the ball to actually do anything. So I'm not just going to say he hasn't been bad because of that, because he doesn't really try to improve his game when he's on the pitch. But with Cavani, if you saw against the Palace game, how can you say he had a bad game? He hardly received the ball and he hardly got any service. So that's a great comment there from Prince, mate. And make sure you guys smash a like on the stream, guys. Of course, I was a bit late today. 40 something minutes late, so sorry about that. I was sorting out something, but I was meant to be on time, but something came up. But yeah, I could have rescheduled it, but I think it would have been a waste of time. But tell me what you guys think down below of all these stories. Any questions, any last minute questions for me to quickly answer? And Michael Scott says, do you think Pogba will stay? Well, there's promising news. Of course, I said it a few days ago in a video that Pogba, is debating signing a new contract with Manchester United because of the thought of playing alongside Jadon Sancho. So I think it does matter if we get Jadon Sancho or not. I think, it does Pogba want to play in his team at the moment with these players? I don't think so. So I think, it does all matter on if Jadon Sancho comes in. But you never know. Even if he doesn't, Pogba may decide to stay at Manchester United, even though it seems a long shot of us winning a trophy this season. I do still feel, he's a massive asset to our team. And, we've missed him recently. Since his injury, we haven't been playing well. We've lacked a lot of creativity. And we just haven't been getting the results and performances which we need. And we need to start picking up results now. Of course, on the weekend against City, it's going to be another struggle for Manchester United. Prince says that exactly. And if you watch Haaland, 95% of his goals are him being played through. Yeah, of course, for Dortmund, he's got Reina with him. He's got Jadon Sancho, Royce, Brandt. He's got many creative players in that team. And, who do we have? McTominay, Fred, Matic, Bruno's in there. That's all. You can't. No one else in that team creates. Greenwood won't create. Rashford won't create. They're just magic players. They can turn up, at one point and they can win us a game. They can't create though. You have no players in this team at the moment except from Bruno that can create for Manchester United. But Kamikaze said Haaland would fit in at Chelsea at the moment with Werner and Mount. But it depends, mate, because Werner, does he want to play on the left hand side? Pulisic is in there, Ziyech is in there, Havertz is in there. There's a lot of players in that team they need to try to fit in and keep happy. So, yeah, I don't think he will end up going to Chelsea. But Adam Talk Sports says, this guy keeps coming after me. I can't take it. Nah, you got to love a bit of the argument and discussion in the chat, mate. It's all about opinion, all about everyone giving their opinions on all these stories and, how Manchester United will develop in the future. Fitzy says, you can only do one. Which do you choose? Sign either Haaland or Sancho, or keep Pogba and sign a centre-back? Jesus Christ, mate. You put me on the spot, aren't you? Oh, sign either Haaland or Sancho, or keep Pogba and a centre-back. Mate, I'd for good reasons, I would sign Pogba and sign a centre-back, just so I don't have to watch this centre-back, like this defence at Manchester United for another season. I can't handle it. It's been enough this season watching this defence. So, yeah, definitely Pogba new contract and a centre-back, even though we're missing out on signing Jadon Sancho and Haaland. I'd rather just get what we need at the moment, and that is a centre-back. Prince J says, Pogba should leave for his own career. He has league titles, cups, and a World Cup. Just needs the Champions League to complete the collection, and we aren't good enough to reach the Champions League final. Never mind winning it. Yeah, I agree with you there, mate. I absolutely agree with you there. Of course, you're right in saying that. Pogba, does he really think his career will develop at Manchester United, or does he want to go that one step further and win the Champions League? Because, as you said, we're not going to win the Champions League anytime soon. I mean, anytime soon. Look at the teams who are competing in the Champions League right now. Bayern Munich, Liverpool in there. Much better teams than this at the moment. Much more creative players. And, I think all that Bayern team, you've got world-class players in that whole team, And with Manchester United, you've got 3 or 4. So, it's going to be years and years and years of buying the right players and sorting out the right manager and the right management to win a Champions League. Fitzy says, good choice, lad. I agree. A centre-back is more important. Yeah, mate, 100%. 100%. I think a lot of people will agree what you're saying there, to be honest. I think centre-back is our main priority. Kamikaze said United should stay in Europa. That's where they belong. At the moment, mate, you can't argue with that, really. I think that's where we belong, because we bottled it in the Champions League by not getting a result against Istanbul. And now they're out of the Champions League and didn't even make it into the Europa League. So, it's a good point there. And I think, do we have a chance at winning this Europa League this season? Yeah, we do. I do feel there's a lot of strong teams to win it. Arsenal, Spurs, and, Arsenal gave us a good game. And if we play against top 6 sides in the Europa League, like we've been doing in the Premier League, then they're just going to beat us, aren't we? We're just going to sit back and allow them. And I'm not looking forward to the Europa League game against AC Milan, because I do think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will see that game and realise that, they're a really good side with a lot of creative players, and just sit back. Hopefully not, because I do back Manchester United to beat AC Milan over the 2 legs. But yeah, it's a really interesting game, and I think we have a lot of games coming up now, which will probably, decide Ole's future. I know he'll probably be here until, the summer and May. But, for me, if you want to go further, we've got to be careful of what we choose to do, because, of course, with the fixtures coming up now, we have Man City, AC Milan, West Ham, AC Milan's second leg, and someone else after that. So it's an important time for Manchester United now, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And we've got to start getting some results, because as I said, top 4 is not guaranteed for Manchester United. And what Kamikaze pointed out earlier is that if Chelsea win and we lose on the weekend, they're only 1 point behind us, and we were so many points ahead of Chelsea just a while ago, and we were even first at 1 point. So it's just been so bad for Manchester United having such a good start. And I said it in my first preview, Manchester United are a team that makes you believe something can happen and they're going to do something. And in the end, they just disappoint. They let you down. And they have been that team for a few seasons now. So it's frustrating supporting Manchester United. You don't get it, in a good way. Like if you get City, you can sit back, confident, hoping to win. But now and then you'll probably have an upset and lose a game. But with Manchester United, you're not sure about any single game. You're not sure against West Brom. You're not sure against Palace. And when it comes to a top 6 team, you're definitely not sure. You back us to lose that game, don't you? Fritzy says, if we had progressed past the group stage in the Champions League, how far do you think we made? If we played like we've done recently, we wouldn't have made it past the next round. I'm telling you now, we would not have made it past with the teams that are in there. Do you still think we'll finish above Chelsea this season? I'm not going to say anything right now. of course, I said second place and a trophy would be a good season. Anything other than that would be disappointing. He talks about progress. He talks about, edging the gap between first and second. I think we're like 15, 14 points below City. And they're first. That is not edging the gap. Edging the gap would be just, 5, 6 points below them. We're 14. We're 14. Like, Jesus Christ, that's not edging the gap. And, of course, there is some progress. I'm not saying there's a lot of progress, but compared to the last few seasons and where we are now, you can see slight signs of progress in this Manchester United side, but it's not enough for me. It's not enough to go to that next level. Prince J says the best option for Haaland is Man City. Gee, no, do not even talk about that. Do not even talk about that. Aguero's contract ends this season, and his start over Jesus, he would break the league goal record in that team. But he's just unbelievable. Haaland came out of nowhere for Salzburg and just amazed everyone. I think United will bottle it and get fifth. If we end up getting fifth, mate, oh, I swear to God, if we end up getting fifth after the season we've had, after, such a good start to the season and such a good middle half of the season, to bottle it towards the end would be typical Manchester United. And to miss out on Champions League, would also be awful, because then that would mean we'd have to win the Europa League. And I don't back us to do that right now. Prince J says nothing but pain for us United fans in the coming seasons, watching our rivals do bits while we are stuck being mediocre. I agree with you, mate. Like, there's loads of signs of it, because, against top 6 sides, we don't play to win. And that's not Manchester United. I don't remember Manchester United many years back, giving the game up, hoping to maybe catch them on a counter-attack. We took games to players. We took games to teams. Top 6 teams, City, Liverpool, Spurs, we took the game to them. We won our top 6 games. And look how far we've fallen now, having no intent to try and win them. So it just shows, really, how scared Solskjaer is. Fitzy says, would you rather top 4 and no trophy, or win Europa and an FA Cup but don't get top 4? Man, we need top 4. I'd have to say no trophy and top 4. But for me, as I said, I still wouldn't be happy with that, because we do need a trophy and a second place for it to be a successful season for me. Winning the FA Cup and Europa League would be so much better for you than getting top 4, because you still be in Champions League. Yeah, I see what you mean by that. I see what you mean, but there's still no progress in the league, is there? That's what I want to see this season, because we finished 3rd last season. So, now we need to be, you take 2nd as a bit of progress, but we need to be challenging, or at least edging the gap on City, because right now City are unstoppable. No one's stopping them. No one is right now. They're one of the best clubs in the world, and they've got talent on the bench, like millions of pounds of players in their team. So I don't know who's stopping them, but yeah, I do reckon if you were to win Europa League, get top 4, and then get FA Cup, that'd be an amazing season for Manchester United. But, even if we do win this game against City on the weekend, I'm not going to go over the moon about it. I'm not going to be too happy about it, because what does it achieve? 3 more points closer to City? That's all it's going to be for me. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you, everyone, for coming in, giving your thoughts, sharing your opinions. It's been a great time. And, of course, I'll be back tomorrow, probably at like 12, maybe 1. But don't keep that as a promise, because I may be a bit late. But I should be available tomorrow. Of course, we'll have the watch along as well. And we'll have also a match reaction for that City game. It's going to be a close one. I do feel like, we're going to lose the game. It's not going to be a good watch for Manchester United. I don't think we'll try and win the game. But, get your predictions in, guys. A preview went out earlier for the Manchester City game, so please go and check that out. Leave your likes and score predictions on that video. But last comment, guys, Prince J says 3rd place last season is a false image. We got the same 6 points as the season before. We only got 3rd because the others around us fell off. Yeah, mate, I also said that last season as well. It was a really awful season for so many teams towards the end, so we were lucky that we beat Leicester towards the end, guys. But anyway, guys, thank you for coming out to the stream. Much appreciated. Make sure to drop a like and leave your score predictions for the game tomorrow and your thoughts on these stories. But anyway, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Subscribe down below, leave a like and turn on the notification bell. And I hope you guys have a good day.